Who doesn't like dogs? I love dogs. And what if I told you that you're about to listen to a wonderful story on how Debi McKee has managed to build an online business around helping people go from rescuing a dog to being able to have a happy, healthy, and meaningful relationship with their dogs, which isn't always easy. She's been able to build this online business thanks to Thrive Suite, and we're here to talk about how she's done it. I hope you like it. Well, today I've got a very special guest here with me, Debi McKee, who is the founder of Rescue Dogs 101. I think that today's conversation is going to be a little bit special because it's something that I think a lot of people watching at home can probably relate to. I mean, I've been in a home where we've adopted not one, but two dogs before in the past. So I understand a lot of the struggle behind what Rescue Dogs 101 is trying to help people with. But before I go on a rant, why don't I just hand over the microphone to you, Debi, so that you can walk us a little bit more about what is it that you do at Rescue Dogs 101 and a little bit about who you are.
Okay, thank you, Tony. I appreciate it. So obviously my name is Debi McKee, and I am a graphic designer first. So I've been doing freelance graphic design for about 30 years. And in 2015, we started fostering dogs, which led me on this path of just trying to help other people in the situations that I found myself in and other people in the foster network that we were in. And just talking to more people, I realized that I was not alone with struggling with the struggles that I had with my dogs, but everyone who have adopted a dog find themselves in some sort of a situation where they're like, I don't know what to do. The dog might be scared of their husband or their kids, or it's just not wanting to eat when it brings it home. There's so many different scenarios, and every dog is different, right? So I wanted a place that I could help not just one dog at a time when I was fostering, because I was able to take a dog one at a time, but I wanted to help hundreds, even thousands of dogs, and that's what Rescue Dogs 101 does. So it's an educational resource for people who are going to Google saying, what do I do now, right? My dog is doing this or that. And so they're searching for some help, and that's where I come in. And I'm hoping that people can find me and get the help that they need. So there's a ton of educational resources, blog posts, and I have printables, and I've actually started courses now. So that's basically, in a nutshell, what Rescue Dogs 101 is.
That's awesome. I want to kind of just start talking a little bit more about marketing because you've mentioned a few things here and there that I'm really curious about. Now, Rescue Dogs 101 is correct me if I'm wrong, but based off what I've seen, it's a very SEO driven business right now. I mean, you've got a lot of free resources. I would imagine that a lot of them are ranking really well on Google. How much of your traffic today relies on SEO?
Well, that's kind of a trick question. With the recent Google updates, it's if you asked me a year ago, the answer would be different. So last year, I would say 100% was SEO driven, right? I learned a lot in the history of how many years it's been? 2015. So it's going on. Next year will be my 10th year.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I was all about trying to find the right keywords and getting exactly what people are searching. And I would say, yeah, like 90% of my traffic was probably straight from Google. Other 10% was from maybe Pinterest, and social media was maybe like 1%. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I did see that you're also building up an email list, right? I mean, I did notice that there's a bottom section on your site where you're trying to, well, you have a lead magnet there that people can grab in exchange for their email address.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So my email list is a huge part of it right now. That's where I'm getting a lot of, I'm still able to connect with the people that I've gotten over the years. And so being able to still help people. And it's funny because you would think that once you adopt a dog, or it's not really funny, but people think they adopt a dog and they bring it in and it may take a week or so when the dog's happy and then there's a happy ever-ending story. But there's really a lot to build on it. So even people who have been with me for over 5 years or so still find themselves coming to the website and the resources because things pop up over time, things change, life changes. And so yeah, the email list has been great. And yes, I have 3 different separate lead magnets on there for different phases of where they are in their journey of their dog life, right? And so yeah, that's been a big part of it.
I'm actually interested about that. You mentioned 3 different journeys. What are those 3 different types of journeys that you can kind of segment people into?
Yep. So there's 3 different people, or not people, but 3 different types of people that come to me. Yeah. So there's the people who have just adopted a dog, and there's the people who are in a situation where they're really struggling with either a training issue or something training related, right? And then there's those people that are looking for ways to keep their dog healthier and using different avenues to boost their dog's immune system or just their life in general. So that's kind of like the groups that I have it in. So I've got 1 lead magnet for the adoption phase, 1 lead magnet for the training phase, and 1 lead magnet for the health phase.
And I would imagine that depending on the lead magnet that people grab, you're putting them inside different email sequences or...
Yes. Yep. Yeah, so each one has a different email sequence. So that's what's great about ThriveThemes. Plug that in. With the leads, I can tag them in ConvertKit, right? So then they go through a whole email series through that. And it's probably, I think I'm right around 7 emails for my welcoming sequence. Then they all go into my main email list, which I email every week. And then if I have something specific, I can email just that group that's tagged. Like if it's something health specific, that I just wanted to email those people, or just adoption specific, because not everyone's in that stage, right? Not everyone just adopted their dog, so someone who's had their dog for 10 years don't need to hear about transitioning their dog into their home type of thing. So I can segment those people out.
That makes sense.
And not have to worry about annoying the other group.
That makes perfect sense. So do let me ask you, Debbie, because I'm starting to see a pattern with these conversations that I'm having with all of you guys, where I find a lot of ThriveThemes customers sharing or splitting their time between, for example, your job as a graphic designer and a side hustle that they may have, like Rescue Dogs 101, or, essentially they try to balance more than one source of income at a time. Looking back, you've been doing graphic design your whole life, but if you're concentrating on Rescue Dogs 101, if you were to look back at 2015, at that year when you were getting started, is there anything you would change about, the online business that you set up? Anything about the strategy that you've taken or the journey that you've been on over these last 9 years? Would you change anything?
Well, information is always hindsight, isn't it? I mean, what we know now, if we can go back and redo it, I would change a lot of things. I would definitely be more laser focused on my own products versus earning income, because before this past year, I was really focused just on getting the traffic, right? So that was my focus on the SEO, getting traffic in from Google. I was earning money from ad networks and from affiliate. That was my majority of my income. Looking back, I wish I would have focused more on my own product line right from the start, like from day one.
Okay, this interests me. You have your own product line now, and we're talking about like physical products that you're selling, or are we talking about digital products?
Digital.
Like courses?
It's all digital.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I've got
like courses, for example.
Courses and printable products. It's all digital. Yeah, I don't have anything physical.
Interesting. Now, I do have to ask you because, again, I did my homework, and I noticed that you've got kind of like two different websites running simultaneously, right? You've got RescueDogs101.com, which is your main. I would imagine that that is where most of the traffic comes to. That is where your free lead magnets are hosted, and where I would consider that your marketing site, right? But then you
Yes.
do also have a different site, which is RescueDogs101.store. And if I'm not mistaken, I did take a look at the code. That's not even hosted on WordPress, right? And that is where you actually do most of the selling.
Correct. That's the Shopify store. So that was
Interesting.
more recently. I set that up. It's probably been about 2 years ago. Um, Another marketing person that I follow, she promotes having a shop store so that, because before I had all these digital products that I was selling one by one, like as a tripwire or something like that. And the idea behind this store is having everything in one spot that people can actually have in a shopping cart and check out. So if someone wants 5 different things before the shop, they would have to buy those things separately, right? Each 5 different transactions. With the store, they can have it in a shopping cart like you would Amazon, add it to the shopping cart
Right.
one by one, and I can also have places where I can upsell and say frequently bought with this, right? So sometimes someone will just go in to buy one thing and end up with 5 things.
Is your plan to be selling your courses using Thrive Apprentice or something else?
Thrive, no, it's all my courses are on Thrive Apprentice, which,
Oh, so how
yeah,
does the technology work there? Because you're actually, are you selling those courses on your Shopify store?
no. I want to be able to, but I
Huh.
haven't figured out a way to do that. I would love, that would be one thing if I wanted to add to Thrive Themes is that, because right now I don't know how to connect the two.
Right.
Yeah,
So it looks like we've got different pieces of this big puzzle that you're trying to build, right? Or that
it
you've
is a
already
big
built.
puzzle. Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, have you ever thought or have you ever heard of WooCommerce before?
Yes. Yeah. I've done WooCommerce in the past, not for this, for a different side hustle that I had
And
in the
what
past.
pushed you away from just simply installing WooCommerce, which is free? It doesn't really cost you anything on your existing
Yeah.
RescueDogs101.com and just
I
having
guess,
it all live on your site.
yeah, I guess the ease of Shopify kind of drew me to it, right? You can just set it up and they have everything there set up for you. Um, there was not a lot of detail or anything. I mean, I've done WooCommerce before. It's been a long time since I've done it, but there is a lot more steps to it. There's a lot more involved. And I also like that Shopify has their Shopify payments. A lot of people are using it, so it's kind of like they already have the account in there, and it's kind of like an all-in-one type of thing. But I've never ruled out WooCommerce because it's still, yeah. I mean, it's an option.
I mean, I'm just wondering because so just out of curiosity, when's the last time you gave WooCommerce and like Thrive Theme Builder, Thrive Suite a shot?
Well, I've never used them before together. It was before Rescue Dogs 101, so it's probably been 15 years since I used
Oh wow.
WooCommerce. Yeah, it's
Oh
been a long
wow.
time.
Yeah, it's it's been
It's
a
been a long time.
long time. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. I mean, I'm definitely not here to just hammer down on, on the way you've
Yeah.
done things so far, but you may want to give it a shot because it does sound like a little bit of like a little bit of an overkill the way you've set things up, considering
Yeah.
how easy it is to just install WooCommerce and use Woo payments, for example, which is kind of similar to shop payments and stuff like that. Um, but I'm learning. I'm curious. Actually, I'll probably ask you off camera. What are those things that you think that Shopify makes easy? I understand that I'm all about keeping things like an all in one inclusive bundle and stuff like that. But you're not the first person that says that. So
Okay.
I appreciate the feedback. So the original tech stack that you started RescueDogs101.com with, was that Thrive Themes?
It was not. I started with I don't even know what theme, some random paid theme that I had probably used for another website to get it started. And then I realized, I mean, back in those days, WordPress didn't have like blocks or anything like that. It was really hard to do anything with. So I was really struggling to get, as a designer, I wanted it to look good. And I was really struggling to get to that point. And I don't even know how I found you guys in the first place, but it's been a lifesaver because, like I said, as a designer, I want it to look good. And I don't want to spend hours and hours coding either, because back in the day, that's what you had to do. I mean, I learned HTML back then. I don't want to do it anymore.
Respect.
Yeah.
Did you ever consider, I mean, I would imagine that you never considered actually just quitting on the whole idea just because you didn't want to program up.
No.
You eventually found ThriveThemes and Thrive Architect, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And did that fix most of your issues?
It fixed everything. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a life changer. Just to be able to design a website the way that you want it to look with the templates that you guys had, and just the ability to add graphics and put things where you want it. Yeah, there was no doubt.
Nice. So I kind of just want to talk about what you think your strategy is going to look like in the near future. So you've mentioned that you're planning on doing online courses now.
Yeah.
But you haven't started that yet.
Yes, I have. I started that. I mean, to be fair, I had an online course probably about 5 years ago, but I did no research on it. I just kind of put it up there. So this past year is when I really started digging into figuring out what would work best for my audience. So last summer, it was probably June, July, is when I launched my first course. And I've been trying to tweak that course ever since. So this past year, I've launched it maybe 4 times, I think. Just making tweaks each time, trying to see what works and what people are willing to pay for and is working best for my audience too. So each time I add something new, I change it, I change the way that I launch it. But with Thrive Apprentice, it's been nice because I've been able to have that platform there, and I can go in and add things, move things around, and still make it easy for my existing students that are in it to still have access to it and not have to totally start over.
What's the course on?
It's called Canine Play Therapy Program. So it's geared towards people who are struggling with their dog, with their confidence. So with the course, it kind of steps through people on how to use play to connect with their dog and increase their confidence levels, which helps with a lot of behaviors. It could cast a wide net around how dogs behave.
Is it you on camera playing with dogs and explaining to your students how to?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Is that your first time on camera?
It's not my very first time, but probably the most. Yeah. I mean, I have a YouTube channel, which I don't use it as full. That's another one of my things I need to check off and get done. So I've been on camera before, but not enough. I'll say that. Like, it's always been one of those things that I've been afraid of, right? It's always the fear of being on camera. And I've been trying to get out of that comfort zone this past year. And so the course has helped me do that because, I've been having to do a lot of taking videos of myself talking with my dogs, right? Which can be a challenge because you're relying on them to behave in the moment and do what you want them to do. But yeah, it's been exciting.
It's got to be complicated. I mean, I struggle just, alone. I can't imagine having to create videos with a dog.
Yeah. It's a lot of editing, taking out, cutting things and starting over.
Now, yeah, I can imagine. I did want to ask you because you did mention playing with switching with your pricing to try to figure out, what are your potential clients willing to pay for your courses? Is there a
Right.
specific strategy that you're following with that, or are you just like A/B testing and?
Yeah, so I am in a business course that kind of gives you a bunch of different launch methods, I guess is the best way to do it, and different pricing models based on that launch method. So I've been kind of going through different avenues. So it's kind of based on what he's teaching. And it's kind of hard to kind of just put into one sentence. But so I started off with trying to do just what they call a beta launch, right? Where you just launch it as you're building it live. And at a lower cost. So I started with that.
Okay.
Then I started with adding, like trying to do it, giving them an option of self-paced and then an upsell of a coaching option. And then I tried just launching it with just the self-paced version. And this last time I tried doing it with the membership model. So it's just kind of trying to see what's clicking with people and trying to figure out what's going to work.
Have you come to any conclusions yet about which
No.
one seems to work best?
No, the
Okay.
membership.
Well,
The
maybe
conclusion
you-
I came up with for sure is the membership did not work.
Interesting.
It was interesting to me because in my mind I thought it was going to be a great solution because people were taking the course but not implementing it, right? They needed a little bit of more hand-holding because when you join something you need that motivation, right? So I thought with the membership that it would give my people the motivation, the kind of the surrounding of other people who are going through the same situation as they are. And so maybe I would try it again. I'm not sure, but whenever I launched it a couple months ago, I think I tried launching it and I got one member to join. Well, two, I'd say one, but at two people, I can't make it profitable enough to run
Right.
it. It would cost me more for the software, right, to host members
So
and stuff like that. So I just
let me ask you, what are you charging for the course right now then?
For the course, for the self-paced course, I've gone between $97 and $77.
Yeah, that's a sweet spot that we found. Most coaches seem to do pretty well at the $97 price mark because it doesn't take you 10,000 people to convert on your product to be able to make decent money, and it's also not cheap enough to just be seen as something that is not going to give them enough value.
Right.
So $97, $100, something like that seems to be like a pretty sweet deal that we see most of our clients doing pretty well with. So Debbie, I have some good news. I am officially relieving you of your duties as a graphic designer and as founder of RescueDogs101, and you're officially named CEO of ThriveThemes for a full day. And not just that, I'm actually giving you all of the money. I mean, think about Warren Buffett kind of money, all of the resources in the world to be able to either create a new plugin and add it to our existing line of tools, or add in a new feature to an existing plugin. As CEO of ThriveThemes, what is it that you would invest in?
Okay. This is a really good question. I have to think about this, but I would say that I would focus more on improving what we already have, right? There's so many things that ThriveThemes has already. I don't know that we need anything new. So I would improve on what we've got already. And because I am focused right now on courses, I would say I would focus on improving Thrive Apprentice. I've been learning a little bit more about how to improve courses, and gamification keeps coming up on how to engage our users. And I don't have the exact answer on this because I'm still learning it myself, but somehow add in some sort of way to add more gamification into Apprentice. Like I said, I don't know how that looks. And I know like there's certificates and we can do tests and stuff like that. So maybe that's something, because I have not implemented those things that I need to work on and see what else there is to it. But yeah, that's what I would focus on.
I would renew your contract as a CEO. I love the answer. I kind of really like the answer. I mean, I've gotten some really good answers and throughout these conversations, but I think yours is probably one of my favorite ones.
Oh, well, thank you.
So yeah, awesome. And to wrap it up, Debbie, I think we can just finish with a series of rapid fire questions if you're down for it.
Yeah, of course.
Awesome. What's your favorite Thrive Suite tool?
Well, it's always hard to choose just one, right? Obviously, Architect, because it's the basis of everything inside of it. But if I had to pick a second one, it would be Apprentice because of the courses. So, yeah.
I'm going to wrap it up this year with these questions that I've been asking everyone, but next year I'm going to have to get rid of this question because I keep getting Architect.
It's always
I think
the same.
one person said Apprentice, and then one other person said Quiz Builder, but everybody else, and I've had, I think 11 of these already, has said Architect. All right. So I think you mentioned earlier that you do have an Instagram account, I think, or a social, maybe you said social media account?
And I have Instagram. I primarily focus on Facebook more. I've been trying to get into Instagram more. I think as a what is the word I want to say? Generational. Just because
Gotcha.
I'm older, I think Facebook was the first big social media thing. So that's what I gravitate more towards. I'm trying to get more into doing reels on Instagram, so I've been trying to focus there on more. But those are the two platforms that I'm on.
But you do use them for business, not just like as a personal thing.
No business.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I'd like to hear about an entrepreneur that inspires you if you have one.
Yeah, so I have a few. I mean, I like to follow a lot of people. The first one that comes to mind, though, is Ruth Sukup. She was the one that taught me in the very beginning with my blog to focus and have a business plan, right? And not just randomly just spew words out on the internet. So, and she started as a mom blogger and started teaching blogging, and now she's got another business. So she's really inspirational just because I've seen her rise through the different phases of, Google things and all the internet stuff going on. So yeah, she's a big one. And then I would also say James Wedmore is also someone that I really look up to because he's just always so inspirational and just kind of keeps me on path of being inspired.
Nice. A book that everyone should read?
If I have to, for a dog book, I would say, because I'm always, if I'm reading a book, it's always about dogs. So hopefully a dog book is okay. So I actually have them.
Sure.
It's the Forever Dog. Oh, you can't see it on camera. It's called the Forever Dog. The Forever Dog. There's two of them. One they just came out.
The Forever Dog.
Yeah. There's one that is the first one, and then the last one they just released this past year. But if you own a dog, you need them.
And it's a book about
It's not. They're
dogs in
non-fictional, so they're the first one's just about all different. It's basically keeping your dog healthy and how
Gotcha.
to keep your
Okay,
dog
that
live
makes
like the best long life that you can through health.
So, if I ask you about a movie that everyone should watch, I take it that you're gonna see A Dog's Journey, or
That is one of my favorites, but actually it's not the top one. The Lion King is actually my favorite. It's always been for some reason. Just the, I mean, it's great for kids. It's great for adults. The music is awesome. And the story behind it is just, if you really look and listen to the story, it's just amazing. I think everyone needs to watch it. And you can watch it with your kids if you have kids too. And turn up the stereo and dance to it. I don't care. It's a really good movie.
Great movie. I agree. To wrap it up, I usually ask people, is there a marketing trend that you're excited about?
I think this is another trick question, because I would have to say, like everyone else probably says, is AI, because that's on the top of everyone's mind right now. But it's also a little bit scary at the same time because of what I could see it's capable of. And as a graphic designer, I feel even like with tools like Canva and things like that are making it easier for the everyday person to do things. Even though, in my opinion, it's not as good as a personal touch as someone who knows your business, knows what you exactly want, can give you, people are going to go for the cheapest, easiest way to get to that point. And I think AI is going to cause a little bit of ripples there, that's all. But it's an exciting, because I use it. I mean, it's helped me in my businesses. And so I'm interested to see where it's going. And also scared at the same time.
Yeah. I think you've expressed how most people feel about AI.
Yeah.
Okay, just before we wrap it up, do you have a favorite dog breed, just out of curiosity?
Labrador Retriever.
Lab? Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Well,
Yeah.
Debbie, it's been a pleasure. I truly appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on and sharing all these insights. I think people are going to be able to get some really cool golden nuggets from this conversation. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Tony. I appreciate your time.
There's something special about building businesses that make the world a better place. And I'd like to thank Debbie for putting herself out there and helping other people with her knowledge and expertise. And if you're watching this video and you've made it to the end, think about your own knowledge and whether you think you could help other people by creating your own online business. Like Debbie did, if you think there's a place for your expertise in this big internet world, just know that we can help you make that happen here at ThriveThemes with our tools. They are very easy to use and very easy to get started with. So, if this is something that spikes your curiosity, be sure to check out the link in the description box for more information. I truly appreciate your time, and I will see you soon. Thanks again. Bye.